Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser. I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's Tuesday, which means I have no idea what's coming out this week until now. If you think I'm kidding, wait to see me mumble through everything I am justifying buying this week. And maybe you should read it with me too, and we'll check it out together after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Two things. Number one, comment on this video. This video right here. Comment when you can comment and put words down in the bottom. NWO Comics during Shop Talk last week was like, what's the keyword to get in the giveaway? And I was like, just type farts. And he did. He didn't win because the comment picker hates farts apparently. But comment and you get entered to win a poser pile, which will be 5 to 7 books coming out between last week and this week that we have sent things to... crap, I already forgot who won the first week, but it went in the mail on Saturday, as did the winnings that went to Sassy, which I have a quiz for you when I come on Popping Around the World, so you better have read some of those issue number 1, sis, by the time they get to you. But comment. Free books. Drawing around 10 o'clock on Central on Thursday night. Yeah. Number 2. I teased you yesterday's video. I did not reveal what my overall pick of the week was. That is because starting today, I don't know what time, but today on debut video over on the Mixed Collectors YouTube channel, you can find a couple of us highlighting our books of the week. And the little hint that I will give you about mine is I have not talked about the series in a while. That maybe I highlighted the beginning of the new arc, but I don't think an issue has made the top 5 since the first arc. So that's your clue. So go check that out. I'll have a link in the description below. But comment on this video. Let's find out what we're buying this week. All right. Spider-Man. Of course. Spider-Man every week. We've got the Slingers who are coming back that, oh man, it's been like 2008, 2010 since we've seen the Slingers show up in a relevant way. Maybe a little bit more recent than that. But I love that somebody's name is Hobie or Hobby. Sounds like something I named my kids since, all of them end in like an E kind of nickname. But this series has been brilliant. I gave a big high five to 88, the straight up number, not 88 Beyond. So I'm excited. Next up from Dark Horse Comics is Apache Delivery Service number 2. I just read number 1 last week because we had to wait on a restock to come in for me to get my book. But you have he's an Apache, or is he not an Apache? And he's like, I'm a Navajo. Well, whatever. You have an indigenous person who is a tracker in, I mean whatever, like they're all the same. Like I can't remember. It's either the joke that he gets called Apache and he's a Navajo, or they call him Navajo and he's Apache. But he's looking for Nazi gold. That's what we find out at the end of issue number 1, as he's creepily tied up in this dude's bedroom in everything but his underpants. Weird, but I'm intrigued. Number 3 is the Avengers Number 53. Like I mentioned when 52 was coming out, I was on the verge of turning away from this series, but I really thought the way that they played with what was Star something. God, it's been a month and I can't remember anything. But the way that arc has kind of turned has pulled me in. I also think had I been like, I'm not going to read issue number 53, I'm picking this up because Namor is on the cover and I am a Namor stan. Even though I don't have a Submariner slab yet, I will get one, but Namor is my dude. From DC, some of y'all might be reading this today, is Batman Catwoman number 10. The holiday interlude that came out a couple of weeks ago was okay. Like I said, this has been kind of an interesting bumpy ride that I like the way that it shows Catwoman maybe being way more nefarious than we thought on the back end of things. We also get to see, the impact of who her daughter is. And how her motherhood may impact things as well. So I think we're hitting the end of this, that I think it's only 12 issues, but it's been mostly enjoyable. It's been more good than bad. Next up from Aftershock is Bylines by In Blood number 2. I can't remember if this was on my poll or if I picked it up off the new issue table. But either way, you have this wild story about an assassin who has killed what, looked like some kind of standard homeless man, but he used to be like a high-up journalist and mentored the woman we see in the cloak. She is trying to suss out who the real killer is, and we get some hints that the killer is on her trail at the end of the first issue. So number 1 was enjoyable. We'll see what I feel about number 2, but as my goal is to try and pare down my pull list, and I say that all the time, and I don't. I'll probably read all 5 or 6 issues of this. I feel like I've read or talked about this one already. I think Vox Machina Origins showed up a week or 2 ago on the pull list and got pushed back. But if you're a Critical Role fan, this is the origin series of Vox Machina. It is the 3rd volume of everything that has gone down from the first campaign. If you're not watching The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon, episodes 1 through 6 are out, and it's absolutely hilarious. If you have no freaking idea what Critical Role is, or Dungeons and Dragons, but you like weird twists on fantasy stories, I really feel like that this cartoon is kind of creating a paradigm shift in like adult fantasy stories, and I think I've read that it's already confirmed for season number 2, so you could, get on that. You can binge 6 issues now. Or 6 episodes now. They're like 23 to 27 minutes a piece. Well worth the time. Alright, we got Devil's Reign number 4. Like I said, I've been loving this event, and I've been reading all of the tie-ins, and you'll see that, a couple of themes are going down. That I'm getting the Bagley connecting variant, I hope, and that's going to be 4 for 4. I like the X-Gwen, the Betsy Cola variant, and the Sway Black History Month variant, and apparently there either wasn't a Headshot variant, or I missed that one. Uh-oh. But I'm going to want to hunt that down. Next up from AWA is the Fourth Man number 2. You have, people who are hunting down a murderer. There are 3 dead bodies. So issue number 1, you get the story of the first dead body. Issue 2, presumably we're going to get the story of the second dead body. I've been enjoying also the variant covers of this. That the variant for number 1 had this weird kind of Waffle House motif, and that was a lot of fun. Next up from Source Point Press is Good Boy number 3. I talked about that, I think, 2 weeks ago, because there were a couple of people in the comments who said they were excited for Good Boy number 3 the first week that the Poser Pile came out, and it didn't. Oh, time's not real. Next up from Marvel is Hawkeye Kate Bishop number 4. I've been enjoying seeing, the literal circus that is, creating the rogues gallery in all of this. That, we're seeing the kind of unveiling of the relationship between Kate and her sister. We see, a focus on a piece of jewelry that may have significance. It's been pretty interesting so far. One of the books that I'm super excited about, and there's a very good chance it's in the Poser Pile this week, is John Lees' Hotel number 3. I think Hotel number 2 was my pick of the week, or it was the number 2 of the week that it came out, but I want to see what happens now that we have a frustrated artist who is, doomed to be in this Hotel California of evil. Although I think I will probably pee my pants a little bit, because it says that she's dealing with a replica of a clown painting, and if there's one thing that is a hell nah from me, it's clowns. No. DC, we get the Joker number 12. I was listening to my dude, Bruce from Bruce and Stephanie Comics, his top 5 covers and books that he was excited about yesterday, and the Joker was on that list. He and I both agreed that this story has been kind of slow, but it's been fairly twisted and pretty good. And you should watch the way that he breaks down King of Spies number 3, because it is his second most anticipated book of the week, just because of the weird amalgamation of person that is on the cover. So I'll let you listen to his hype, because I've read the first 2 issues. I've loved the first 2 issues. I'm excited about issue number 3, but his level of intensity and just sheer Bruciness takes it to a whole new level. Next up from Image is Monkey Meat number 2. Again, this is an anthology title. Number 1 was bat shit crazy. And that's all I have to say about that. I want to see what happens as we continue to learn more about Monkey Meat Island. But issue number 1 was wild. I think seeing 2 issues from an anthology across issue number 1 and 2 will kind of at least help you figure out what your expectations may be for the rest of this series. Next up for Marvel, another book that I'm super excited about this week is Moon Knight number 8. Hopefully I find an extra cover, because that one's guaranteed to go in the poser pile, because this has been not just one of my most favorite reads for, the last 7 months, but I think this is one of the best versions of Moon Knight that we have seen. Jed McKay? But learning about Mark Spector in a new light, learning about all of the cast of characters that are around him, very interesting, as we are starting to see the idea that there are multiple fists of Khonshu, sets up things for a very interesting conflict arc. And like I say every month, because I don't have original thoughts anymore, if you write a comic that inspires a reader to go back and read more original source material for that content or comic or that character, you know you've done something right. Next up for Marvel is New Mutants number 24. I think I'm still in like 16 or 17, but like I said, F it. I'm going to start reading them as they come out. So who knows how lost I'll be. New Mutants has been one of the most wild, all over the places titles. Where like they're in space, they're in Nebraska, they're jumping through parts of time. So I don't know what the Shadow King is, but apparently he attacked. And next up from Image is Phenom X number 4, the John Leguizamo book. It ended in kind of an interesting direction in issue number 3, where it looked like he had met his match, and it looked like the program that was giving primarily people of color the injections that, if met with like certain degrees of radiation, it created superheroes. That looked like the program was coming to an end. So we'll see what happens in the world where the last time we see Max, he's in prison. It also says this marks the epic conclusion as Max Gomez's journey is something. So I'm not going to click on view because, when I'm running OBS, my computer takes a month to do something else. I really need to get a better or a newer Mac, because this is like a decade old now, which is like a million in Apple years. But I want to see if there's more. I'll probably read this when I'm done clicking. Next up from Image is Radiant Black number 12, I think. This is the last one until we get, like, the big, like, super, mega, ultra, on fire Image Comics superhero crossover event where we get a Radiant Red title, we get a title of somebody who's coming out of New Orleans. Like, we're starting to see 3 or 4 series offshoot from Radiant Black, in addition to this big crossover file. So I'm excited as this continues to play its way out. Like I said, issue number 1 and 2 were intriguing to me, but as they started playing with the dynamic, nature of who exactly could be a main character and could somebody die off relatively early, kind of push the boundaries of things. If they've shown us the backgrounds of the different Radiant colors, it's added far more depth to this story, and I enjoy it. Secret X-Men, it's a secret. In my comments to Bruce, I apparently lied. I thought I was dropping 7 secrets, so it's there. My big issue with 7 secrets is not that I dislike the story. I think there's just been so much shifting of the status quo that it's just been hard for me to keep up on. I almost dropped it at the end of the first arc, but then it hooked me. I thought I dropped it at the end of the second, but here we are, 2 issues into the third arc. I just need to pick up the trades. Next up, Space Bastard Special Delivery number 1. This originally was on the pull list for, I think, 2 weeks ago. My copy came in last week, and I've been talking with, I think it's Joe Aubrey who runs the Space Bastards Instagram page. I was gonna feature this book as what I talked about in my Mixed Collector's Pick of the Week video today, but I am going to break down Space Bastard Special Delivery number 1 on a big video on Thursday, because this does a lot to play into the universe. Next up, we got TMNT Best of Jennica number 1. Jennica has been okay to me as a turtle. I didn't like either of the spin-off series, so maybe we'll see if getting in on some of the stories that made her her, and me looking at her in a focused light will help me with things. I don't know why I haven't been like, woo, Jennica, and it just might be, to me, the solo series were okay. That means I didn't like it. Next up from Behemoth is Until My Knuckles Bleed number 1. I talked about this 2 weeks ago and it got moved, so trying to make a little bit of a shorter video. And the last one we got, good God, 27 comics, but that's, you know, a couple of covers, a book that I'm not going to get because I already got it, and there were books that were damaged last week or didn't come in last week that I might get, so another week around, you know, a kidney's worth of comic books. But I liked both Lives and Deaths of Wolverine number 1. I have not read Lives number 2, that it is actually sitting up here on the end of my to-read pile from last week, but I'm excited to continues to see what happens as Wolverine jumps through time and probably Omega Red does weird things and Charles Xavier has to be saved in a million different lifetimes and things like that. It's good. It's very interesting. I said, you know, when issue number 1 came out, that I really feel like we're living in a world of peak Wolverine writing, which is the reason I've enjoyed, you know, this event that sets up the next universe. We'll do our Scout update. There are 2 books, both number 1s, and I think I've got one of them in my Scout box that is sitting over next to me, and I'm way behind on my Scout book tonight. Need to start sorting them in with my weekly reads when they come out. But we get Black Caravan, you know, Playthings number 1. So spooky toys that are alive. This will probably terrify me just like the clown book I was talking about earlier. And Broken Eye number 1, which I don't know much about. And I would read a sentence to you, but you could also read it yourself. That sounded meaner than it should have been. You don't want me to read you a sentence, because if you've survived this long, kudos to you, girlfriend. So what do you think? Anything I'm grabbing this week that you're like, nah, pass? Let me know in the comments down below. But remember, you have until the moment this video ends, and I even think the comments will be live beforehand because it'll be in a preview because it's on Tuesday, or a premiere because it's Tuesday. Comment on the video. Then wait until Thursday. Show up on Shop Talk around 10 to 10:30 Central. I will push a button. Hopefully you win. If you win, comics will go in the mail by Saturday. They will come to you. You can do what you want with them. You can make a house. You can read them. You can feed them to your baby. All of the above. But enjoy. That's my gift to you. We're also getting closer and closer to 1250. That at the time of filming this, I think we were 21 away from 1200. So if we're, you know, gonna embrace the Baton Death March to 3,000 by the end of the year, I think I need to be on pace to have like 1,500 by June. So let's keep going with steam. And I appreciate all the support like always. So as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.